Welcome back, everyone, as we focus our reflection today, and blessed Easter to each and every one of you. As we move through Holy Thursday, probably a little differently than we would have in other years.
Very different.
Also Good Friday, and the exaltation of the Holy Cross, the veneration of the Holy Cross, and now the King sleeps on Holy Saturday. That's part of the Office of Readings, which has always been a powerful words for me in my own priesthood. So as we came together for the priesthood for a Holy Thursday, the marriage feast of the Lamb, that just kept coming over to me again and again. And it's the very beginning of the Revelation. It's the very end of the Revelation. So there's something very powerful to keep in our, not just so much in our minds, but in our hearts about that. It's always interesting to me that on Easter Sunday, the great church fathers would always use the word victory. There's victory of life over death. There's victory of that sting of death that Christ experienced during Holy Week and during his Passion on Good Friday. So that's wherein our hope lies, that we believe in the resurrection of the body and life everlasting. So nothing can take that hope away from us. Nothing can take that grace away from us. And that's what we focus on, and that's what we celebrate with great cries of victory on Easter Sunday.
Man, with so much gusto. I mean, this is the day the Lord has made. Let us rejoice. I mean, it's a good thing that we entered into this Easter Triduum. Again, as Father said, very differently than perhaps we've ever experienced before, not being able to be all together in community, but yet still trusting that this may be Christ's plan. And it's a great gift of ours to receive this time. Perhaps to even, as I heard one priest reflect, help us stretch our longing and appreciation for the Eucharist, especially if we've had to go without, and join in solidarity with our suffering brothers and sisters throughout the world who may not have a chance to receive the Eucharist, who may not be able to have that opportunity, and yet Christ is still resurrected within us in the domestic church, in our families. And even in other reflections, if you remember a couple weeks ago with Lazarus in the tomb, that his burial cloths were still wrapped around him because Lazarus had to die again, right? But Christ, his burial cloths were set aside separately. And it's almost, or it very, very much is the fact that he has escaped the bonds of death itself, and his body is now glorified. And that's the promise that we will all share as well.
So this time is over. It will be over for us, hopefully sooner than later, and we'll be able to come together for that marriage feast of the Lamb and to celebrate that victory of sin over death. And it is no more for us. That sting is no more for us. Doesn't mean that we're not going to sin again, but we have the promise of that forgiveness and reconciliation and the promise of heaven.
Yes, and it's the same promise that a man has with his wife when they exchange vows on the altar, and it's the same promise they renew every time they hurt each other and find reconciliation, every time they rejoice together at the birth of a child, at graduations, at any moment of both victory and difficulty, that we can find the balance between them and enter into the mystery that it is to be human. What a gift.
We've spoken a few times about the power of words. So Easter Sunday, we raise our voices with a great, great joy and acclamation. The victory is ours.
Hallelujah.